Hi, Room 21 Rockstar families, and welcome to our weekly VODCAST. It's so great to see you guys. I so apologize for missing last week's VODCAST. You know, I was a bit under the weather and had so much going on with grad school, including the DI tournament the day before, and it totally just slipped through my hands. But it's so great to see each and every one of you. I hope that you guys are enjoying the very first day of spring. I know it doesn't feel like the first day of spring. I feel like that weather we had earlier this month really spoiled us, to say the least. So, to begin with, I would like to congratulate this week's Rock Star of the Week, Mr. Walter Piverall. Walter has been incredible in terms of his consistency with the Barrett Academy Constitution and his amazing uplifting and encouragement of his fellow scholars. So congratulations this week to Walter, a job well done, young man, and a true Barrett Academy scholar. A couple of other announcements before I send you guys off to the strategy session. First of all, middle school forms, permission field trip forms were sent home over a week ago. I still have a few that are not returned yet. I need those back this week as soon as possible so that Mrs. Gardella can get those ready to go and have plans all in place before we head out for spring break. And speaking of spring break is all next week from March 28th till April 1st. So just keep that in mind as well. Hopefully the weather is awesome and that you guys are able to relax and enjoy time with your family. Fourth, our DC trip, our class DC trip, is coming up on Saturday, April 30th. You know, I've been advertising in a while in our class newsletter and in our class email. Tomorrow, your scholar's going to come home with a blue paper that looks a little something like this. You know, there are a couple of, the details of the trip are here, what we're going to be doing, and also the cost for the trip. And then what I need back by the end of this week is simply this permission form down here, whether you give us permission or do not give permission for your scholar to attend the trip on April 30th. It is on a Saturday. I have a tentative schedule on the back. We'll be departing here at Barrett at 8 and returning at 7 p.m. I am looking for some adult chaperones, so if you would be interested in coming along with us, you can just go ahead and fill something, make me a little note on the bottom of the form. I need all forms back by Friday, just with, your scholar's intention, whether they're able to come or whether they're not able to come. The cost of the trip is $20, but I can work with you guys. 14 of that goes to an all-day pass for the Metro, and the other $6 of that goes to the meal for our lunch after our visit to the Holocaust Museum. The scholars are doing an incredible job in studying and learning all about the Holocaust through the reading of Hannah's Suitcase and guided reading. And this is really an incredible trip. We've taken it for the past 2 years, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. Your scholars, more than any other, are going to be incredible, and number one, deserve the trip, and number two, are going to take so much from it just because of their compassion, their kindness, and their genuine, caring for the Barrett Academy Constitution. So this is coming home tomorrow. If you could just send it back, the bottom portion, by Friday with your scholar's intention of whether they can come on the trip or not, that'll help me with planning purposes and things over spring break. I think that I have gotten to all of the announcements for today. It's going to be an amazing week in Room 21. I cannot wait to get it started. I'm going to send you guys off to the strategy session, and I'll see you on the Okay, Room 21 Rockstars, I'm starting you off on our homepage, recordrockstars.weebly.com. I'm going to send you right over to the VODCAST tab today because I have a ton of different strategies that you can use at home to make sure you're studying and mastering perimeter area volume, some stuff with Hannah's Suitcase, and some writing as well. So to begin with, let me scroll on down here to the math section. First of all, I've left everything up so far from this quarter, and it's pretty crazy to think about everything that we've been studying, including classifying angles, naming angles, measuring angles, classifying triangles, classifying quadrilaterals, and what we've been working on the last couple of days, perimeter and area. So anything that we've already studied in this blue bracket, you can complete any of those IXL activities or other sites that I have linked up there and get yourself 1 house point for each of those problems, and you can bring that back into class, of course showing your work to earn those points this week. Okay, now what I have new this week, and I would probably suggest starting down here with the videos, I have created videos for perimeter and area, and also for volume, which we'll be going into later this week. So let me just kind of show you a little dose of what it's all about. I'll skip ahead. Guys, now we're going to move on to the study of perimeter. Okay, just a quick recap. Perimeter is really the distance around the outside of a figure. So, the other day I took you guys out around the school and made us walk the entire perimeter of the school cage. Okay, so that talks about perimeter. This video gets into area. It takes to cover a surface. And the best example that I could possibly give you. And then finally, volume, which will be later this week. Working a lot on 2D figures. So guys, what I am offering for you is, if you watch the video and show your work, throughout the video I do prompt you to solve a couple of problems on your own. If you go ahead and do that, then I will give you 10 house points per video for putting in that effective effort and bringing that work into school and showing it to me. So maybe you're not totally comfortable with area yet. Watch that video, practice, use the strategies that I've given you, see what you can get out of that, bring that into class, you can get yourself 10 house points. Now, after you're comfortable with perimeter and area, I have two sites that are pretty cool. First of all, the Shepherd software site right here is a game. It's actually a lot of fun. I was playing it a little bit ago. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find the distance. So, for instance, this one says shoot the shapes with a perimeter of 6 feet. So you're going to have to look at all of these figures and figure out, okay, the distance around the entire outside of the figure, which shape do I need? Think about the Mathimal activity that we completed earlier this week, whenever we had to cage the rabid Mathimals by putting different fence around the outside with a set budget that we were provided, okay? So figures with a perimeter of 6 feet is what we're looking for, okay? So if you could just go ahead and show me your work, or have a parent, or just tell me that, yeah, Mr. Reichert, I participated in this activity. You can get 5 house points there. And then I do actually have some IXL here. Now, the cool thing about this one is, number one, you get to practice typing in that answer. But also, number two, it really makes you think in terms of the differences between perimeter and area, because it's both combined in the same activity. So, for instance, this one says each side of a square. So I'm going to draw a square. Okay, it's not perfect. But I think about all the attributes of that square. It has 4 congruent sides. It has 4 right angles. It has 2 sets of parallel sides. And then what is the cabin's area? Okay, so each side is 10 feet. Okay, so that means I know a square has 4 congruent sides. Now, the perimeter of this figure would be 40 feet. Okay, because I add 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, or I multiply 10 times 4. But to find area, I have to take my length, which is 10, and I have to take my width, which is 10. Okay, and if I actually drew an array, it'd be a 10 by 10 array, and we know 10 by 10, or 10 times 10, is 100. And remember, area is a square unit of measurement because it's 2D. Okay, perimeter is 1D. So if you go ahead and show me your work with those, I will give you 2 house points for each of those, because that does take a lot of focus and effective effort on that front. Here's our math challenge of the week. Okay, a rectangle has sides that are whole numbers of inches long, so we're not dealing with any decimals here. The perimeter is 44 inches of the rectangle. So draw all possible shapes that would have a perimeter of 44 inches. And then you have to determine what shape has the greatest area. Okay, so you can do this in one of 2 places. Number one, you could come over to our classroom page under the Math VODCAST Challenge of the Week and go ahead and post it up there. Okay, that's option number one. Or you could simply answer it on a sheet of paper, and as you guys know, you can bring it into the envelope on the chalk tray in the front of the classroom. Okay, you can write about your reactions to the books, and remember, that's 5 house points. Write about your reactions to Hannah's suitcase so far. What interests you? What do you still have questions about? Have you done any further research on the topic of the Holocaust and different things that we've been studying that are relevant and that you'd like to share with the class? And if you add a contribution here, remember, just put your first name, and I will be sure to give you some house points for that as well. Now, our writing fix of the week is really cool. Okay, and basically what you have to do is you have to agree or disagree with this prompt. Is it better to live 1 day as a lion than 1,000 days as a lamb? And think about who might say this and why would they say it? And finally, what do you think about that statement? Okay, now that picture, in that picture frame, and the picture frame we would be measuring perimeter, the distance around the outside. That's just my little math plug, but you know, that picture is actually from World War II, whenever the Allies stormed Normandy, okay, on D-Day, and basically that was the beginning of the end of the war, okay. So bring that in and have you guys share that during Sacred Writing Time this week. I just thought that was really cool to begin with. Now, this week is going to be amazing, scholars. I have an amazing project that you are going to be working on in small groups in terms of building a city block. It is going to be incredible. Okay, so the hashtag for the week is hashtag green space, and that ends in a question mark. So the hashtag for the week is hashtag green space, and you have to say it with an incredible amount of passion and energy and excitement, just as I did in the VODCAST. So I'm so incredibly proud of you, scholars. So incredibly proud of the effective effort. Thank you for watching the VODCAST, and you will be rewarded with some awesome house points. So now I'm going to send you back over to Mr. Reichert in person. 21 Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies were successful. It's so great to be back with the VODCAST. I hope that you guys have an incredible week. And most importantly, I hope that you have an incredible spring break the week after. And I will see you all back ready to go in the month of April to close out this school year with some amazing exploration and discovery of learning and just spending time together with our Room 21 family. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. You guys are the incredibly best families in Stafford County, and no, that is not a joke. And I will see you guys all next week.